Okay, so we are in the unit 4. In this, we are going to discuss about detailed information on patenting biological products, and then we are going to discuss about Budapest Treaty. That is, what is Budapest Treaty, and then biodiversity. What is about biodiversity? How it is related with the patents, and then related case studies. So these things we are going to discuss in the unit 4. So in this class, we are going to discuss about first Budapest Treaty. ஆடிபிளா இருக்கா? ஆடிபிளா இருக்காமா?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay. So it is a Budapest Treaty. So before already we know that we have discussed in third unit, it is nothing but World Intellectual Property Organization, that is the WIPO. So what is the Budapest Treaty? Why it is framed? What is the need to create a Budapest Treaty? So it is an international agreement which helps for the deposition of biological material for the purpose of the patent procedures. So it is an international agreement which will help the deposition of biological material, that is the microorganisms, for the purpose of patenting. So that is the need, that is the main objective of Budapest Treaty. So this deposits under this treaty are effective evidence of viability and does not require any separate viability statement. So then overall it is an international recognition deposit. This Budapest Treaty. So why we need a specific treaty? Requirement of sufficient disclosure of the invention. So many people will have new inventions, many people will find new inventions, but it altogether must be framed in a separate organization. So for that only this Budapest Treaty has been framed. So how to disclose a microorganism? In specifically, this treaty is about the microorganism preservation. They are storing information about the microorganism. Then requirement of the deposit of microorganism. What are the requirements for the microorganism? How to store this microorganism? What are the requirements are there to store this microorganism? Then usefulness of a single internationally recognized deposit. So இது வந்து ஒரு இன்டர்நேஷனல் ஆர்கனைசேஷனாக ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணி, so each and every all over the country, all over the world, they can store it in a single space. That is a single organization. So for that, these things are needed. This treaty is needed, framed. So what is a microorganism? We all know about it. It is a microscopic organism. Either it is bacteria, fungi, virus, or the yeast. So which are used in the food production, pharmaceutical production, and also in the other products also. Okay, so in each and every aspect, these microorganism plays a vital role. So it is important to store it in a proper thing. So defined in concise Oxford Dictionary. According to Oxford Dictionary, an organism which is not visible to the naked eye, either it is bacterium or the virus. So microorganism plays a vital role in the production departments, production industries. So we have to store it in a proper thing. So they have formed an organization internationally for storing of the microorganisms. Disclosure requirements. So what are the disclosure requirements? This patent law protection requires the disclosure of the invention, usually by the publication of a description. So usually how we can protect our patents is we can publish our concept. So next is the public may use the information for experimental procedures, and once patent has lapsed, it can be used for commercial purpose. ஸோ இப்போ ஒரு ரியாஸ் வந்து ஒரு பேட்டர்ன் வச்சிருக்காங்க இன் a பர்டிகுலர் ப்ராடக்ட் ஆர் இன் a நியூ ஆர்கானிசம் அப்படின்னா it will be around 15 to 20 years it will be there. So once it is lapsed and the patent வந்து lapsed ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா everyone around the world they can use the particular methodology or the particular concept for commercial purposes. அதுதான் அங்க சொல்றாங்க. So next is where an invention involves the use or of concerns a new microorganism which is not yet publicly available. So புதுசா ஒரு ஆர்கானிசம் இது வரைக்கும் இல்லாத ஒரு ஆர்கானிசமா இருக்கலாம், இல்ல பப்ளிக்கு தெரியாத ஒரு ஆர்கானிசமா இருக்கலாம். And which cannot be fully disclosed in the description. It is necessary to deposit a sample of that microorganism with a culture collection. ஸோ ஒரு ஆர்கானிசம் பத்தி தெரியாம இருக்கலாம், இல்ல பப்ளிக் ஒரு அவேர்னஸ் இல்லாம இருக்கலாம். ஸோ அதை பத்தின டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன், அதை பத்தின திங்ஸ் வந்து we have to store it in a particular thing. ஓகேவா? ஸோ இட் இஸ் நெசசரி டு டெபாசிட் a sample of that organism with a culture collection. So it is mandatory. Multiplicity of deposits. So எங்கெல்லாம் பண்ணலாம்? ஒரே இடத்துல ஸ்டோர் பண்ணாம we can store it in a different thing. Many national laws require the deposit of the microorganisms. So the complex and costly procedures for distinct deposits in the various countries. So it will differ according to the countries, the cost and the problems for depositing the organisms. So necessity of rationalization at the international level will be there for depositing the microorganisms. So next we can move on to the Budapest Treaty. So it is a proposal by the United Kingdom to the Executive Committee of Paris Union that before studies the possibility of international treaty on deposit of the microorganism. So before is nothing but World Intellectual Property Organization. So they made a decision to establish a committee of experts. So individual or we cannot frame a committee. So they had established a committee with the expert members. The committee held 3 sessions in 1974, 1975, and 1976. And then they have prepared a draft of a treaty and regulations which are submitted to a diplomatic conference. So 3 sessions are conducted. They have framed a draft which has been submitted in a conference. So after that, in a diplomatic conference was held in Budapest, that is April 14 to 28 in 1977. So from it was takes place in the Budapest, so only the treaty was named as Budapest Treaty. So it was adoption of this treaty was done in April 28, 1977. So at very first, 18 states were signed in the Budapest Treaty. UK, US, Chinese, and then different France, Italy. Likewise, different 18 states have signed in the initial adoption stage. So when it came to force, this Budapest Treaty, so entry into force on takes place in August 1980 after the accession of Japan. So currently now 80 contracting states are involved in this Budapest Treaty. What is this? International depository authorities are there. So idea is nothing but international depository authorities are there in the Budapest Treaty. So contracting states, these are examples for those, they said no 80 contracting states. These are some examples. So this is the Budapest Treaty world map. It is nothing but it is the world map which are in the Budapest Treaty, which are under the Budapest Treaty. So declarations of acceptance. Declarations of acceptance. So it has been deposited by the following intergovernmental industry property organizations. This Budapest Treaty, different organizations they have been framed. European Patent Organization, Eurasian Patent Organization, African Regional Intellectual Property Organization. So what is the principal motto of this treaty? All contracting states recognize the deposit of a microorganism with any IDA. IDA is nothing but International Depository Authority. So அந்த 46 அரௌண்ட் சொன்னோம் இல்லையா, அதுல எங்கனாலும் they can easily deposit. ஓகேவா? So this Budapest Treaty is an organization in which 80 states have been contracted. They have signed it, in which different 40 to 45 IDA organizations are there. Authority organizations are there. Any deposit of a microorganism with an IDA shall be accepted for the purpose of patent procedures by the patent officers of the contracting states and by any regional office who filed a declaration of acceptance. So இதுல இருக்கிற எந்த ஐடியாலனாலும் they can easily deposit. So they will be getting the rights for depositing, and then it will be accepted after the declaration. So what is International Depository Authority? So it is a scientific institution located on the territory of a contracting state. So ஏதாவது ஒரு contracting stateல it will be located, accepting deposit of microorganisms, and it will store the microorganisms, and further furnishing samples of any deposited microorganisms will be available in this IDA, International Depository Authority. The status acquired after acceptance of communication from the contracting state of the Director General of WIPO. So this is about IDA world map, where it is located. So these are the things where this IDA, International Depository Authority, are available all over the globe. So this red dots indicate the IDA wherever it is available, wherever it is located. Subject matter of the deposit. So the treaty, it does not define the term microorganism, thus allowing a broad interpretation of the term. It includes unicellular, multicellular organisms, either bacteria, fungi, plant, animal cell culture, or human cell cultures, murine embryos, plasmids, seeds. So these are all can be stored in a Budapest Treaty. So today the term, it has formed as biological material. It is more commonly used term. Microorganism மட்டும் இல்ல, it has been framed as biological material. Any biological material can be stored in the concept of Budapest Treaty in the IDA, International Depository Authority. So most widely accepted kinds of microorganism by IDA is non-pathogenic yeast வந்து 34 are stored, non-pathogenic bacteria 34 are there, non-pathogenic fungi is about 32 are there. Infrequent kinds of microorganisms by IDA. So frequent இல்லாம ரொம்ப ரேரா வர்றது வந்து pathogenic protozoa 1, murine embryos, oncogenes, nematodes, or RNA. So these are infrequent acceptance of the microorganism by IDA. ரொம்ப frequent இருக்காது, it will be infrequent. So what is the procedure? Mandatory acceptance of the microorganism by IDA when requirements for deposit are met. So அவங்க கொடுக்குற அந்த கைட்லைன்ஸ் எல்லாம், if it satisfies only, they can for deposit a microorganism. Delivery of a receipt will be provided. Time limit for the deposit, it depends upon the national law. In general, filing date of the patent application. Okay, so based on that only the time limit will be fixed. Storage during at least 3 years, 30 years will be there for the depositing of the microorganisms. So there is rule 11, access to the deposited biological material. So any interested industrial property officers can deposit the biological material. The depositor or third parties authorized by the depositor. So the depositor is the individual person or the third party which will be authorized by the depositor. Any party is legally entitled under the applicable legislation with the prescribed form and certified by the Industrial Property Office. They can easily deposit the biological material. Okay, so individual concern நம்ம பண்ண முடியாது. We should have certain rules and regulations which will be comes under the Industrial Property Office. they should be certified. இவங்க வந்து deposit பண்ணலாம். If they give a certificate, then only we can deposit a biological material. So statistics is about overall deposits since 2005, 4.893. Samples furnished is 2.673. It was general statistics about the Budapest Treaty. So these are some of the statistics. This we doesn't need. So the aggregate of deposits since 1981, overall deposit 96.9. Likewise, several categories are there, several IDAs are there. So according to that, they are given the statistics. So what is the advantage of this Budapest Treaty? Simplification and cost reduction of the patent procedure, prevention of certain risks in the field of biotechnology. We can promote the R&D through access to the deposited biological material and promotion of cooperation and exchange between IDAs. So ஒரு ஆர்கானிசம் ஒரு இடத்துல ஸ்டோர் பண்ணிருக்கோம்னா we can easily exchange and then anyone can use with the prior protocol. Next, contracting states. What is the advantage of Budapest Treaty with the contracting states? They must recognize the deposit with any IDA. They must give the assurance that IDAs fulfill the requirements of the treaty. Okay, so for contracting state, இப்போ இந்தியாவில் வந்து ஒரு ஐடியை நம்ம ஃப்ரேம் பண்ணோம்னா they have to recognize and then they have to give assurance they will follow the guidelines of the treaty, Budapest Treaty. They are not obligated to establish an ID on their own territory. அவங்களோட பேஸ் கேத்தாப்புல they should not change it. It should be common. It should be under the Budapest Treaty only. This IDA, International Depository Authority. They do not have they did not have to pay any financial contribution to repo. This contracting states for a state India frame பண்ணோம்னா they do not have to pay any financial contribution to repo. ஓகேவா இந்த ஐடியா ஃப்ரேம் பண்றது. Documentation, Budapest Treaty and its regulations should be documented. Guides to the deposit of microorganisms under the Budapest Treaty must be documented. So for anything, if you have any query, we can refer this website. We go report.int/Budapest. So these are nothing but the rules when it is framed: patent cooperation free, European Patent Convention, TRIPS agreement. These are some of the rules which related to the Budapest Treaty. So where to get information? We can get the information. Budapest Treaty section, Patent Law Division, RIPO in Switzerland.
Hello, sir. Your voice is breaking, sir.
இது வரைக்கும் கிளியரா இருந்துச்சா? அக்ஷதா?
Yes, sir.
இப்போ கடைசி வரைக்கும் இருந்துச்சா உங்களுக்கு?
சார் அதெல்லாம் இருந்துச்சு சார், நடுவுல கொஞ்சம் பிரேக் ஆச்சு. இப்போ ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே. One second.